For the third time in the 2025 DeWalt Cup Series season, we head to a 1.5-mile track. The 9th race of the season is the Bass Pro Shops 400 at the Kansas Speedway. Through 8 races, we've seen 6 different teams get 7 different drivers to victory lane. Last week at Road America, the driver 40th in points and the team 13th in owner standings went to victory lane. Will another upset occur today, or will the top teams rise to the occasion? We'll find out in 54 laps time, right here on JRTV. Welcome everyone to the Kansas Speedway. I'm Joe Rakowski, Trey Bart alongside. We're glad to have you in for the race. The third 1.5-mile track of the season. The prior two have been a little bit chaotic. We've seen multiple cautions at each of them. So Trey, here today at the Kansas Speedway, it's a wide track, but it's a fast track. Will we see some issues occur throughout the race, or will it go caution-free like we've seen a few times this season?
That's a really good question here, Joe. I mean, we go from what were the last 2 races, Richmond and then the Road America, right? So drivers really haven't had the taste of what a fast intermediate track like this has been like in a while. So, it could call for a little bit of a misjudgment from a couple of people. And with misjudgment, you get cars not running no more. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, the last time these drivers had an intermediate like this, you have to go all the way back to race 4 and race 2. Race 4 at Texas, race 2 at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Each of those had, I think, 3 cautions in them. So if that's a trend that continues, we might see 3 cautions here today at the Kansas Speedway, or we could go caution-free. We'll just have to see how these drivers want to race. But an interesting thing about this racetrack, Trey, progressive banking throughout the corners. There's less banking down by the apron, more banking up by the wall. It's 17 degrees at the bottom, 20 degrees of banking up at the top. Now what that does, basically more grip, your car is settled in more at the top, you're able to carry more corner speed. We'll actually see that probably, Trey, play into how they race through turns 1 and 2. For whatever reason, that side of the racetrack, the lane up against the wall can actually work, can actually get drivers a run down the backstretch, and that'll play more into it when the tires get even more worn out.
Yeah, so that'll be an interesting new type of situation we're dealing with here today, Joe. With like you mentioned, the run going down the backstretch to set yourself up for 3 and 4. So we'll have to see who can all utilize that and who can possibly find an alternative route around something like that. Who's going to be good at blocking the run going down the back, and who's going to be the one that can really get closest to the wall and go on the line that no one else is willing to do.
Yeah, that's going to be fun to see, but that can also be the one thing that leads to the crashes. Drivers going through different lanes in the corner, trying to make it work and trying to all come together off the corner. That could be the thing that leads to accidents here today at the Kansas Speedway. Let's quickly go through the top runners in the points and how they're starting and how they've done as of late. Nathan Stapleton has come alive as of late. Still hasn't won yet this season, but he's led so many laps, 60 laps led, the most of anyone that hasn't won a race yet this season. In fact, he's tied for the most laps led this season with his teammate Laura Chung. Outer Island Motorsports' Benny Watson's team has led over 100 laps this season, and they're looking to continue that. They have 2 cars starting inside the top 5, and Nathan Stapleton, the points leader, starts in 6th here today at the Kansas Speedway. He leads by 20 points over Brian Rodriguez, the driver who hasn't won since the season opening Daytona 500, but has been consistent. And even if he's not finishing inside the top 10, it's just outside the top 10. Rodriguez, though, enters 20 points back. He starts in 8th right behind Stapleton, looking for his first win since that Daytona 500. Bryce Egan enters 3rd in points, 2 wins so far this season, looking for a 3rd here today. In fact, he won at a track like this in Las Vegas, race number 2 on the season, so Egan has been pretty good. However, those 2 wins are his only 2 top 5s, so he has to find a little bit more consistency to get up there, but he is 21 points down on Stapleton. Jerry Chen has been very good at these intermediate-style tracks, and once again, he finds himself starting towards the back of the field. But when he's been starting back there, in most cases, he's been able to find his way through the field, get up inside the top 15, then the top 10, then the top 5. He won at Texas, the last intermediate racetrack. We'll see if Jerry Chen can get it done here today, starting from the back. And Max Davis, he's been kind of quiet this season, but he's still been running well. He's 5th in points, 32 back, and Davis looking for his first win on the season. He starts a little bit further back outside the top 20, but he is on the inside and can move up. And other drivers like Laura Chung, Jack Haas, Matthew Burnett, Gabe Willard, Roberto Crown Jr. are the top 10 in points. So we'll see how that plays out here today, as we'll now go through the top 5 starters before we get to our picks. And before we get going, Chris Jericho starts on pole. This is a driver who's been surprisingly quiet so far this season. hasn't really done much, and still looking for that first top 10 finish, I do believe, this season. And maybe today with a pole position run at Kansas, he was one of the fastest cars at Texas. Maybe he has what it takes to get up there and get his first victory this season, move him up in points, because he's down outside the top 30 in the point standings. Levi Schoen's won earlier this season at Texas World. He starts in second. Galway Automotive has been a great qualifying team. All three of their cars once again are starting inside the top 10. We'll see if they can keep that track position, especially Levi Schoen's, who once again, he got that win. He holds a wild card spot at the moment, but he's looking to move himself up even more in points, maybe inside the top 10, to use that win as bonus points for the chase. Jude Martinelli has been slow as of late, and not necessarily slow in terms of speed, but just slow in terms of where he's fallen down to in points. He was up inside the top 10, battling for a chase spot. Now he's down outside the top 20, looking to rebound. He starts in third here today. Laura Chung has been impressive this season. Her win at Phoenix, the only one so far this season, but she had speed last week at Road America. She's led laps a lot. She's tied for the most laps led this season. She starts in fourth. She has a good shot to get to victory lane here at Kansas. And Zachary DeLello, the lone Galway Automotive car that has not yet won this season, rounds at the top 5. He's been so strong in qualifying this season, and it continues here at the Kansas Speedway with a 5th place starting spot. So now we'll get on to our predictions. Trey, last week you finally got the upper hand. You got your first victory of the season. So now we each have a win, and our averages are just outstanding so far this season. Only 2 positions separate us in terms of overall averages. So as the Gatorade starting grid will roll along at the left side of the screen, and the guys will start to roll off pit road, I get to go first now this week. It's the first time in a while I've been able to go first, and I'm going to go a little bit bold, but maybe not so bold with this pick. I'm going mid-pack, but on the inside lane, I'm going to take car number 11, Matt Tuck. This feels like a team and a driver that's just waiting to burst out. You know, Vision Motorsports, Matt Tuck, all the other drivers of that team, just seems like this is a team that should be up there winning races or contending for wins week in and week out. Matt Tuck has not yet done that this season. He's still trying to claw his way up in points after a slow start. I think he'll do it here today. That number 11 car is on the inside. I think he'll move up and he'll get Vision Motorsports their 3rd victory of the season. Trey, who are you taking here today at the Kansas Speedway?
I'm going to go about 4 cars in front of your pick right here, Joe. Also on the inside line in a very bright pink car, the 88 of Eli Bright, Joe. You want to talk about a driver who's been waiting to burst out? This guy right here, he's I think this is probably one of his best qualifying positions so far this season, Joe. He just has not had the luck here, and come race time, Joe, we know he has a fast car, but he's just too far back to really do anything with it. So I think here today in Kansas is it's going to be his day to go out there and show everyone wrong that he can have a race-winning car.
Up towards the front on the inside. That's good for Eli Bright. We'll see if he can get up inside the top 10 early and then keep that track position throughout the rest of the race. We'll see how it goes here today at the Kansas Speedway. Fuel window 28 to 32 laps. They'll be just after the midway point. We'll see how it plays out in the Bass Pro Shops 400. Jericho and Schoen's are the front row for the 9th race of the DeWalt Cup Series season. We're underway from the Kansas Speedway. Green flag is in the air. Well, Trey, these guys wasted no time to get 3 wide. It was Zachary DeLello who made the big move from 5th to get down to 3rd, now to 2nd, going for the lead. They're 3 wide further back. They're side by side to lead the first lap of the Bass Pro Shops 400. Jericho from pole just edges it at the line, but now we'll see back here, they're 3 wide. Watch this outside with Martinelli and Chung. They get right up by the wall, and they're going to try and get to the gas. See, Rodriguez did a great job through the middle, and they hung position, though, up the back straightaway.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get a run on the backstretch, Joe, but when you guys are all in a pack, you don't really have a place to take that run, right? So at the moment, these guys are going to have to wait a little bit here to see if they can get that outside the work. But right now, this front pack is still jockeying for position right here. You can see Eli Bright trying to push that 27 just a little further up into 3rd place there as we're looking 3 wide yet again with Rodriguez up top with Jude Martinelli trying to make the middle work. A little bit of a stack up there behind Laura Chung. I don't know if she missed the corner, if the 77 of Torres got into the back of her, but a little bit of a teammate drama going on.
She took advantage of her teammate right there. Oh, Torres almost gets into Egan, but Chung went from the top. She saw a gap and said, well, this is just big enough for my car. My teammate will lift for me, and she dove it down to the bottom in front of Torres. It caused that stack up and nearly caused a crash. Luckily for everyone, they were able to keep it going straight, but this is some crazy stuff. This is just outside the top 10, and then look up inside the top 10 what they're doing as well. It's getting tight by Ashford. Martinelli trying to find a lane to go that's clear and open. at the front, they're stringing out a little bit. DeLello is still leading this race. Jack Haas's teammate is up in second. Gabe Willard for Southern Cross Racing is up in third. Then Eli Bright, your pick, and your driver is up in fourth. And the points leader, Nathan Stapleton, has found his way down in line in fifth place as the battle for second is on. Willard inside of Haas, who's going to use the outside. Willard to the bottom. Eli Bright and Stapleton go side by side. Jack Haas trying to get the run. Willard slides up, and Haas is going to cross back under.
He did that perfectly, Joe. He committed to the top, stuck with the top, and he got that run. Now he's going to be in the lane you want to be for 3 and 4. On the bottom here, Eli Bright and Stapleton are going to follow suit.
All right, so DeLello, with all that battling, is pulling away. Haas is trying to get away. Eli Bright and Stapleton come into it now. They go side by side for third. Eli goes to the wall. Stapleton, though, is able to use that yellow line down low. He gets that spot, but Eli is able to get the run to get clear of Gabe Willard and close back in on Stapleton and Haas. Jericho makes a move at the same time Eli Bright does. Jericho's will work out. Eli's just trying to maybe show the nose to Stapleton, so Jericho moves up back inside the top 5 after losing it at the start. Levi Schoen's back up to 6th. Willard down now to 7th. As here comes Riley Spurley moving up on the inside lane nicely. Alex, oh, we have a wreck on the front stretch. Oh!
My goodness, this is everyone.
Wow.
What is going on back here?
Tim Gary again is caught up in a crash. Keegan Fox, Keegan Thompson, Zidell, and Bryce Egan. Matt Tuck in the 11 is in it. Matthew Burnett is in it. William Seaman. Bella. Oh my gosh, that is so many cars.
What? This had to have happened mid-pack, Joe, for that many cars to be involved. It looked like, I don't know if it was a misjudgment or what, but Joe, that was, what, 10, 15 cars.
You don't expect something like that in the tri-oval. That's like,
yeah.
That's a rare spot to have a crash occur, but that was absolutely massive. That's going to take a lot of cars out. Now the question is, we've only gone 7 green flag laps on these tires. Tire wear is not so terrible until we get to about lap 25 or so. Then you really start to see it kind of pick up. So we'll have to see what these teams want to do with it. As you can see, maybe Levi Schoens is thinking about coming in. The others are looking to stay high as if they're staying up, but Levi Schoens wants to do something different.
He's debating it. Nope, he's coming in.
So so this is going to bring a few down. 2 EKH cars are coming down. Oh, that's a good bit. I mean,
yeah,
there's
a good amount of...
not many cars left. So
no. So I see, who is that? Philip Torres. I think I saw Jerry Chen coming down. A couple other guys stay out. The 91's going to take a peek down pit road, and then I believe these are all damaged cars now coming down. But so what is that, about a good just over 10 cars staying out and maybe just under 10 coming in?
I'd say that's about half and half, as close to half and half as you can get. Looks like 2
Yeah.
tires for Chen and Crown, 2 for Spurley, 2 as well. Levi Schoens will take 2, so they'll have 2 tires. We'll have to see how those 2 tires work and if they can use that to their advantage. Obviously, only 7 green flag laps for the guys that stayed out, but maybe he'll do something. So Hendry stayed out. I think he was actually involved in the crash, though, so I'll have to see that. Chris Keselowski, Ryan Wilson, Jordan Stout, Gutierrez, Ludovic Charette, Joshua Cox, Anthony Hernandez, winner at Road America, playing some strategy to get some spots. Then Max Davis, Brian Rodriguez, Jude Martinelli, Laura Chung, Gabe Willard, Chris Jericho, all the way up Eli Bright, Stapleton, Haas, and DeLello have stayed out. So mixed strategy under our first caution flag of the day, and it was a big one. I'd say about half of the field maybe got some sort of damage in that one. We'll go check out what happened. Caution flag is out within the first 10 laps of the Bass Pro Shops 400 at the Kansas Speedway.
Well, I think we're looking at about as big a Kansas wreck as we're going to get, Joe. Bryce Egan tried to clear himself in front of the 77 of Philip Torres, just does not work, and unfortunately Matt Tuck, an innocent victim here, gets clipped by a teammate yet again, Joe. This is like the 3rd time they've tangled with each other this season, and, well, you're going to have 2 cars spinning in front of the field, Joe, and that just does not work out like it does. Everyone gets involved. Seaman flying through. Charette, just makes it through. Didn't even see that, and then everyone else is just going to pile themselves in, and Joe, this is a lot of money right here.
That is a ton of torn up stuff. You mentioned Charette. I want to give a call to her and also Joshua Cox, who were one of the first ones on scene and still were able to find a way through the madness. I mean, this was just a huge mess on the front stretch, and a few guys, even Jerry Chen did such a great job. He was right behind the initial contact, did a great job reacting to it, not overreacting to it, and was able to get through as well and keep himself in contention. But as you mentioned, a lot of torn up cars, a lot of money for the teams that got cars collected. I mean, you had 2 cars in it. Vision Motorsports had 2 cars in it. So it's a big money day for and not a good way for a lot of these teams. We'll go take a look one more time in full speed. One more look in full speed as Bryce Egan comes up, not clear off Philip Torres, and the chaos ensues. Look at Joshua Cox and Ludovic Charette as Seaman gets pile driven multiple times in that crash, and a whole bunch of cars collected, some with minor damage, but a lot of them have major damage. We'll see how many cars that does in fact take out, as the list is going to be quite extensive, I do believe. After all that went down there, you see all of the cars trying to drive away if they could. Some couldn't. They're already in the pit lane. Well, at the front, it was Galway Automotive 1-2, and it's going to stay that way for the restart. DeLello and Haas lead here at the Kansas Speedway. Back here at the Kansas Speedway, and points leader Nathan Stimpson under the caution flag has just blown an engine tray.
I don't even know what to say, Joe. We were just discussing about everyone that got taken out with this, and we look down the backstretch, Joe, and we see black smoke, and it's Stapleton.
Oh, and you know what? You can be fast, you can be good. Lady Luck will say otherwise sometimes. You can do all your ratings right. You could be with the best team, but sometimes you just have the bad luck, and Stapleton finally found some bad luck.
This is heartbreaking for the 75, but everyone else on the track's like, yes, one of the tougher cars to pass is out of this thing now.
Yeah, that's and it's just kind of been how this season has gone for anyone who's gotten out to a big points lead. You get we've seen a few guys get up to 15, 20 point lead, and then it goes away because of something like that, a crash or a mechanical issue. So we're actually going back this time, so it was a good time to come back. But it's Galway Automotive still 1-2 with DeLello and Haas, as a bunch of cars are done for the day. They include Mathis Wells, Tegan Fox, Tyler Belladonna, Tim Gary, William Seaman, Jacob Miller, Johnny Cox, Matt Tuck, Cam Wright Jr. are out. Bryce Egan also out. Burnett is 2 laps down, and now Keegan Thompson's done as well. The 24 is out there, 2 laps down. He'll get a few more spots, as Keegan Thompson has also added his name to the list along with Bryce Egan. Nathan Stapleton was a header issue on the 75, so he is out. At the front, DeLello leads Haas. DeLello's at all but the first lap. Eli Bright is up to 3rd. Jericho from pole led the first lap of this race, is in 4th, and Gabe Willard is now 5th. Laura Chung in 6th. Jude Martinelli 7th. Brian Rodriguez could be a big points day for him in 8th. Max Davis in 9th, and Anthony Hernandez looking for back-to-back wins is in 10th. Go back here because the first guy off pit road is Levi Shones. He restarts in 19th, so 18 cars stayed out. 19th on back, came in. We'll see how it goes. Restart on lap number 12. There's the pace car in, and here's Zachary DeLello to lead us back to the green flag. He'll be the first to hit the gas, and he leaves teammate Jack Haas a few car lengths back. Eli Bright in 3rd, spins the tires, and could come under fire from Chris Jericho, who had a great restart in car number 54. Jericho looking, doesn't make the move though. He stays committed to Eli Bright, as Martinelli is trying to fend off Brian Rodriguez, who goes high with Anthony Hernandez, and they'll drop back off turn 2.
Yeah, that spinning of the tires there allowed the front 2 to make a good amount of headway at the beginning of this thing, but now Eli Bright should be back up the full speed with everyone else. As wow, they have a big run. What happened to Jack Haas?
I don't know. Haas did not get through 3 and 4 well at all. Eli Bright got through it amazingly with Chris Jericho, and they move low, 2nd and 3rd through turns 1 and 2. Eli goes up to the middle to protect off Haas. Jericho is down low trying to get his spot back. And at the back of this field tread, I do want to say that your driver who's 2 laps down, Matthew Burnett, is well off the pace. So if this race gets a green flag run into it, we'll be seeing that number 24 at some point, multiple times.
Yeah, it's a money day for me, Joe. It's not fun, but he saw opportunity to get more spots, and he took it.
Oh, exactly. He's getting 3 spots, and who knows, with that crash, you could crash again. So we could still see some stuff go on. But it's DeLello leading Jericho. Those are the 2 drivers that have led laps so far here today. Eli Bright trying to fend off Gabe Willard for 3rd. Jack Haas is up inside the top 5, but has dropped back from the restart. Then you have Max Davis, Laura Chung, Joshua Cox coming by, Jude Martinelli, Ludovic Charette, and Anthony Hernandez are battling for the top 10. Remember, Levi Shones came into pit road, has about 7 lap fresher tires. Shones is up to 12th place, going for 11th on Charette. So that tire grip tray might be coming into effect, or it could just be that Shones has a fast car along with Jerry Chen. They're able to carve their way through the field.
Yeah, definitely. We know Shones was up near the front before they decided to come down and take those 2 tires, so we'll have to see if he can make his way back up front. As Joe, we got a battle of the lead going on right now. Chris Jericho has finally caught the back of the Lello's ride right now, as they're both going to take the bottom line. Eli's going to look even lower now, Joe. We got a 3-car race as we're going to be 2 wide coming off of turn 2 right now, and what's going to happen out of this? Don't count that 27 out, Joe. He's got a big run coming.
Yeah, Gabe Willard said, I'll take the bottom lane for sure. And he's going to dive to the bottom with Jericho. The 54 is going to clear off the corner. Here comes Hassan Davis into it as well. 6 cars under a blanket for the top spot. It's the pole sitter Jericho back out in front here at the Kansas Speedway. So another lead change. It's been the 54 and 55 so far today to lead. Now DeLello and Bright go up to the top. They'll try and get a run, but they just can't get it on corner entry. In fact, they actually lose some on corner exit. So DeLello did not get through the top side well at all. Eli Bright will dive low and try and get a spot. Willard trying to close in on Chris Jericho. Jack Haas trying to get back up there. Willard protects off the bottom. That allows Jericho to pull away a little bit. Then you have Davis and Eli Bright on the bottom of DeLello with Lord Chung waiting in the wings. And then back here, Levi Schoen still has not been able to break inside the top 10. He is 11th. And you can see right here some big moves. Anthony Hernandez on Jude Martinelli. That's for 9th place. Close there between the Foss Autosport car of Martinelli and the Atlanta Motorsports car of Anthony Hernandez. The 35 can't complete the pass. Now he's going to fall into the clutches of Levi Schoen. Has a run into turns 3 and 4, but Hernandez covers off well.
I don't know if you saw that last time in the 1, Joe, but it looked like the 35 got dead sideways on corner entry. That's why I said, whoa. I didn't know if he was wrecking or if he just made that aggressive of a move that the car kicked sideways, but it was weird.
Oh, boy,
oh no.
Look at this. We've already caught.
Burnett, get out of the way, please.
Oh, he almost.
Just stay out of the way, man.
Almost came up into Chris Jericho. Is going to hold.
Oh, no, this is a big difference. What are we doing?
He holds
Burnett,
the inside lane, the front 2 get away. Maybe he's going to allow Eli Bright through. I don't know.
Yeah, help the team. No,
look out.
Teammate. Help the teammate.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. What are we doing?
That 24
All right.
is
yeah, what
scarily slow.
This is a bigger difference than I thought it was going to be, Joe. Oh, no.
This is what causes crashes. When you have this type of speed difference and you got guys that are like, well, we need to go. We can't. Look at, they're all trying to get low, and it creates this 3 wide stack-up effect. Max Davis is the one getting the short end of the stick. So is Joshua Cox. They were both up, 6th, 8th or so. Now they're 4 wide, and now they're wrecking.
No. Martinelli and Davis turned around due to the calamity of a lapper of Burnett, Joe. Oh, careful.
Oh, and Crown Jr. wrecked as well.
Crown Jr. got turned around as well.
And the front
Joe, you were supposed to come into the shop, last week and talk to my drivers about how to race. I don't think you went over about how to be a lapper, just so you know.
Jericho leads them back over Gabe Willard, and they had a nice gap back to Eli Bright and Jack Haas. Now here's a point, Trey, is that the fuel window is 28 to 32 laps. When we cross the stripe, it will be 32 laps to go.
Well, so you were expecting a busy pit road is what you're saying.
Expecting a busy pit road, but also a pit road where you're going to want to get that tank full, because if you don't, I have to pit again if there's no more cautions.
Well, we'll have to see what happens going down and what drivers do here. I would expect 4 tires and fuel just to play it safe, but we'll have to see as leaders come down pit road. A little bit of a gap between 1st and 2nd here, and a bigger gap between 3rd and 4th. So these guys did not study pit road entry under caution, apparently.
No, apparently not, but here they all come down the pit lane, led by the number 54, Chris Jericho, from pole position. So he has that number 1 pit stall, which will also help him out to very short distance to get to that pit stall and get out of pit road.
Yeah, Eli Bright's going to be the first out of these front guys to hit their pit stall, and like you mentioned, Jericho's going to be all the way up front with Levi Schoen's following suit right behind him. See if he can gain some spots here. This will be his 2nd pit stop of the race.
Yep, and with how far up that 54 is, it's like he's basically off pit road already. I mean, it's insane.
I mean,
well, here we go. Good stop.
Eli Bright. Okay.
Good stop for Hernandez and Jerry Chen.
Yeah, they're gonna come. They gained a lot of spots, Joe.
Well, you also have to think they came in. They had a little bit more fuel. Maybe they had to take less fuel in their car, so they didn't have to wait as long on the fuel tank.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point right there. So that shows you the long-term game of coming down a little bit earlier than everyone else, is that you can gain some spots on a full pit stop whenever that comes out. But Joe, the front three are going to stay the same.
Yes, they are. It's Jericho, Willard, and Bright. 1, 2, 3 for the second restart of the day. Go check out what happened. Caution flag is out, lap traffic in the way, and a few top contenders get collected.
Well, we saw it live, and I think we all know the story right here, Joe. 4 wide just does not work. Absolutely no fault at all of the lap traffic, Joe. I think it's just 4 wide. No, I'm kidding. It's Burnett's fault. He did not do a very good job of getting out of the way here and caused a big stack up. Davis just had nowhere to go. Burnett was an innocent victim. You see Crown Jr. got involved there, bounced off of the 48. And again, Joe, that 99, he's all over these wrecks, but still does not get that much damage out of them. And Roberto Crown Jr. right here smacked the wall and then does a very slow slide down the front stretch. And yeah, I mean, that's just as classic as a lap car incident as you're going to get.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Crown Jr., who was trying to, he's on the cut line of the top 10 in points, so he was trying to keep that, and Martinelli's trying to recover what has been a bad stretch of races this season. Max Davis was finally moving up in points, and all three of them got pretty decent damage from that. We'll have to see. Obviously, they'll continue on. I don't think any of it's going to be enough to knock them out of the race, but Crown Jr., obviously, the performance will be affected. That's a big damage on the front. Max Davis has pretty heavy damage, and Dude Martinelli may have gotten away with it the best, but still has some damage, will probably impact the car. And one more view off turn number 4 as they got 4 wide, squeezing together. It all went on from there. 3 cars get the most damage from that. Crown Jr., Jude Martinelli, and Max Davis. Fortunately, when guys were racing back to the caution, they didn't nail the 16 who was coming down the racetrack a little bit. And we'll just have to see how these 3 cars react on the restart and how fast they get up to speed and what happens from there. Well, at the front, Chris Jericho from pole is still leading the Bass Pro Shops 400 here at the Kansas Speedway. He'll have Gabe Willard and Eli Bright right behind him for the second restart of the afternoon. Back here at the Kansas Speedway, ready for our second restart of the day. We'll come with 29 laps to go, and as mentioned, if there's no more caution flags, this is right on the edge of the field window. They pitted with 32 to go. They'll field window 28 to 32 laps. We'll just have to see if we stay green, can anyone stretch it from here? Have they been saving under this caution enough to where they can make it these 29 green flag laps? That's once again if we go 29 green flag laps, because we'll probably be catching up to Matthew Burnett a few times if this race stays under the green flag. Chris Jericho is the leader from pole position. Gabe Willard is in second for Southern Cross Racing. Eli Bright for Me Motorsports, your last bullet in the chamber, is in third. DeLello for Galway Automotive is in fourth, and Anthony is up to fifth for Atlanta Motorsports. Then Jerry Chen has clawed his way from the back of the field up to sixth. Another Atlanta car. Alex Sanvitale is in seventh. Levi Shones is in eighth. Ninth for Drew Webb for Southern Cross Racing. So all 3 of those guys are inside the top 10. Lord Chung completes the top 10. Give a quick note on Jack Haas. He dropped back to 15th on pit road. So from, 4th place to 15th is where that number 23 will be restarting this race. A tough break there. We'll see if he can make his way back through the field. Here we go. Second restart of the day. Jericho in the lead. Willard behind him. And the green flag is back in the air at the Kansas Speedway. Well, Trey, Eli Bright might need to find restarts out, because this is the second time he's kind of been under fire in a restart. Last time Jericho stayed with him. This time DeLello said, no, you're not getting that from me.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that 88, but restarts are apparently not his thing for some reason. But Joe, this 55 is on an absolute mission, because he just shoved it to the inside, decided better of it, backed out of it, and now Jerry Chen is gonna. Wow, would you be surprised if I told you Jerry Chen's up front?
It's just, it's always a thing with Jerry Chen. It doesn't matter. The only place where he has not been able to move up through the field from where he started was a road course. Which, I mean, you're not expected to do that at a road course. He's done it at a short track. He's done it at speedways. He's done it at super speedways. Jerry Chen always finds a way to get to the front of the field, and that's why he's so high in the point standings. We'll have to see. Is his teammates going for the lead? Willard, though, got tight. Couldn't make the move. Jericho pulls away, as it's going to be now Willard's teammate Chen in third. Alex Sanvitale for Atlanta Motorsports is in fourth. And Eli Bright up for the top 5, as that was some close racing back here. Jordan Stout, Riley Spurgeon, all these guys are being super aggressive with each other. 3 wide, racing off turn number 2. Hernandez, the one up top. Stout in the middle. Spurgeon down low with Strickland and Shones right behind them, and they're still 3 wide, even further back.
Yeah, this is some sketchy racing going on here, but Joe, as we're settling it out now, down to 2 in single file now, which is what you want to see a little bit further back. They're kind of close, but Jack Haas, Joe. You see him all the way back here. He was up there battling for the lead, but something happened. Oh, my goodness. He is driving very aggressively right now. Something happened on that pit stop, Joe, where he lost, close to double-digit positions. I don't know what exactly, but he is now back here in the thick of it and not having a good time.
No, he is not. He tried to cut down in front of Philip Torres. Wasn't quite clear of that 77. That's the... It's not the first time someone thought they were clear of the 77 and had some issues with that. So, unfortunately for us, he didn't crash this time. But up at the front, Chris Jericho for Tucson Racing is going to have to hold off Southern Cross Racing cars. David Dixon's team looking strong here today. They're running second with Willard, third with Chen, and then seventh, or make it sixth, with Drew Webb. So Southern Cross Racing has 3 fast race cars here at the Kansas Speedway. We'll see if Tucson Racing's Chris Jericho can hold the ball at bay. Those. Here comes Chen from the back of the field, going for a second on Gabe Willard. 24 laps of racing to go here in the Bass Pro Shops 400. The front of the field pretty strung out. Jericho likes seeing that. The problem is, when do we catch up to Matthew Burnett? Because we know that 24 is so severely off the pace. He's only a straightaway ahead of the front runners.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it does this time around, as we're a little bit more stretched out now than we were beforehand, and less cars on the field. So I think this group right here is going to be the biggest issue come that lapper. But we'll have to see if maybe Burnett learned his lesson here, as Levi Shones is still battling hard with Philip Torres on the inside of him, as DeLello is now making his way back up into third place, passing Eli Bright. But Eli's going to have that top side. We'll have to see if a run can develop going down the backstretch, but I don't think it's going to do very much. As where did he come from? That 45 has now made his presence known up here in the side of the top 5.
I was going to say, Drew Webb, this is a guy we've not talked about all season. Here today at the Kansas Speedway, he stayed out of trouble. He's up in 6th and gaining on Eli Bright for a top 5. So Drew Webb having his best day of the season. As Jericho caught Burnett at a wrong position. That's going to cost Jerry Chen unless he can get low in front of Eli Bright. So this time Burnett's holding the top side, which is a lot better than holding the bottom like he did last time. And it cost Chen a few positions, but he does get by. And it also brings Sam Vitale, Spurgeon, Strickland, and Chung back up towards the front few positions.
Yeah, this time he's staying out of the way. It looks like this might be a little sketchy of a situation. These cars are going to try to get that full exit like they like to do, and it worked out pretty well, as Burnett's just going to stay to the top side, let everyone else pass on the bottom, which is a lot better than what we saw the first time from him.
Yeah, when he was holding the bottom and forcing everyone to go the long way around him, that's not what you really want to do as a lap car. And yeah, you still hold up people on the top side because they do get double file, but at least when they're up there, they're probably going to be losing the spots anyway. So you're just kind of hurrying that process up for.
Oh, we're going to try to force a middle 3. I don't know. Oh, we're going to force a middle 4.
Wow.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Joe Hendry is obviously not happy, but Matthew Burnett at that time was doing all he could. I mean, you can't just disappear. When you're a lap car, you can't just disappear. We missed a lead change. Gabe Willard has gotten by Chris Jericho to now lead the Bass Pro Shops 400, and now Jericho under fire from DeLello and Jerry Chen.
Had a little bit of a Fox moment there, Joe, and missed the lead change that happened, but we'll be sure to hopefully get the next one, as Gabe Willard looks like he's trying to check out from the field, as these guys are battling hard for second place. 3-car battle about to turn into a 4-car battle for the silver spot in this race, as we're looking 3 wide off a corner of 2, which is going to allow Eli Bright to get a big run, and the 54 is going to take advantage of that and gain second back and try to chase down the 27.
That's when you can use that outside to your advantage, using that top lane. Jericho did it down the back straightaway, had the momentum, cleared the 2 drivers on his inside. Now his sights are back set on Gabe Willard. Chen under fire from DeLello. Drew Webb is inside the top 5 for Southern Cross Racing, bringing Sam Vitale to the inside. Eli Bright gets a massive run, wound up on the top side. He's going to come right to the back bumper of Drew Webb and look back to the inside of the 45 driver. Laura Chung and Riley Spurgeon go at it behind them, with Lathan Strickland hovering around inside the top 10 for Fos Autosport as well. Right back for 5th on Drew Webb. So for a lap, David Dixon, you had all 3 of your cars inside the top 5, but it might not last, because here comes Eli Bright, Laura Chung, and the rest behind.
Yeah, this 88 cannot decide if he wants to stay inside the top 5 or if he wants to be just outside of it, because it seems like he is fluctuating between that right now, as Laura Chung's going to try to, make it a little bit of a bigger decision right now, as this battle for the lead is still heating up. Gabe Willard is still leading, but Chris Jericho wants his lead back, Joe.
This is some
as he's
stuff.
Into the inside, I believe.
He is. There he goes for the lead. Jericho, the pole sitter, coming back. He loses it, but he's not able to stay down. Jericho uses the bottom of turns 1 and 2, and he clears the 27. So back to the front again for Chris Jericho. over Gabe Willard and Willard's teammate Jerry Chen. DeLello in fourth, just watching on. Laura Chung, her best run of the race, is up to fifth place, so they've helped that number 79 Honor Island Motorsports car, and she was just outside the top 10 not too long ago, battling with her teammate Philip Torres. Torres is still stuck back there at 12th. Chunks drove up to 5th now in that 79. She is fast on this run, and she still has 15 laps to go.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much farther up the field she can make it, Joe. We know when she has a strong car, she is a force to be reckoned with as... Oh, no!
The 54 just broke! The 54 broke from the lead!
Joe, I have no words. Chris Jericho he was leading, Joe. He had the strongest car.
Oh, my goodness. That's just how Jericho's season has been. He has fast cars, they can't finish. They do not finish with them.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can say. I mean, this is the second mechanical failure we've had from a guy up front. But, Joe, This was during the lead and during green flag racing.
And Jericho did make it to pit road, so we'll see if it's mechanical or if maybe he had a flat tire. There's so many damaged cars out there, maybe he blew a tire, cut a tire down with debris.
Yeah, that definitely could be the case right now. But, Joe, Laura Chung is still making her way up as we still have a race going on. And she's trying to get the second place here. And truly, I mean, if you get to second place, you might as well just call her in the lead because of how fast her car is right now.
And with how many issues we've seen with top runners here today. If you're in second, you might as well be the leader because there's a possibility something bad could happen. But Jerry Chen is the one trying to stretch his legs out and pull away. He's now in the lead over DeLello and Gabe Willard. And remember the last time we were at intermediate mile-and-a-half racetrack, it was Jerry Chen that went to victory lane. That was the Texas Motor Speedway. So watch out. Chen could be the one to win here today as they keep down for second. And Eli Bright tries a slide job on Laura Chung. Wasn't quite clear in that last 79 back through. And how about Lathan Strickland going for 5th now and Eli Bright for Full Sail Sport. This is a team that they've been solid this season but never one of the top contenders. And here Chen caught up to Matthew Burnett at a terrible point.
Burnett's going to get back to the top, and that's going to allow a lot of people here to catch back up, but he's going to be holding up a lot of drivers well. Eli Bright's going to try to force a middle 3. DeLello does it instead, as Burnett's now going to get to the top where he wants to be. Very nicely done by him to essentially do it as quickly as possible.
How about Drew Webb there was very close. Dominic Charette getting low. Levi Shones stuck behind Burnett. I thought he can't go middle right there. Yes, he can. And he'll get through. So most of our front runners do get by as for the lead. Two teammates go at it. Gabe Willard with a push from Laura Chung is inside of Jerry Chen and should be able to get by into turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he can complete the pass and slide up in front of teammate Chen. He does. Willard back to the front, but Chen coming with a run up the back straightaway. He'll look back down to the bottom of the racetrack.
I don't know if you can call it a crossover. If you can, it was a very drawn-out one, Joe, but Jerry Chen is, again, trying to take over this lead, and Laura Chung's going to follow right behind that 36, get close to the 27, but not making contact with him as Laura Chung, Joe, is now in second place. Actually, you know what? She said, forget that. I'm going for the lead.
Well, you know what? Ooh, she's not clear, not clear. She almost slid up in front of Jerry Chen. They nearly made contact. Another side-by-side of the back straightaway. I was going to say on Friday night she won the DeWalt Cup Series race. Why not go out and win the DeWalt Cup Series race too?
I thought she was about to clear herself, Joe. I'm going to be honest with you.
She was inches from doing that, and fortunately everyone kept it going straight. But now, Trey, we're in the final 10 laps. We haven't had a caution since they pitted, so it's staying green. That fuel is starting to, start to come into play, right? Final 7 laps at the line, and can you make it? Can you not? That's going to be an interesting question for these crew chiefs to figure out.
Where was it? I feel like it was a couple races ago where we had a couple of drivers come down pit road late because they didn't have enough fuel in their car, Joe. Like you mentioned, could we be focusing on the same type of situation here today? And, I mean, if we do, Joe, and if it's one of these guys, we're going to be as surprised as anyone because I feel like anyone inside this top 5 can go out and win this race.
Yeah, they've been racing super aggressively. Back there, Drew Webb and Eli Bright were, I think, in a boxing match pretty much. They were hitting each other through 1 and 2. That's back around 15th place as these front 3 get clear in single file. Then the battle for 4th, EKH Enterprises. Riley Spiritu with Full Sail Sports, Lathan Strickland. DeLello and Philip Torres is now up inside the top 10. Jack Haas is back. That number 23 restarted 15th and through all the madness, he's up now to 8th place and still with a shot at it. As at the front, teammates again are going side by side for the lead. Willard this time has got the inside through 3 and 4, the better portion of the racetrack to go to the inside. And with 5 laps to go to the line, Willard and Chen, the two teammates from Southern Cross Racing, are going to be side by side, and it's going to be Willard to pull ahead at the stripe and lead the 49th lap, but Chen once again is going to be right back in line and look for another move into turns 1 and 2.
Don't count out Laura Chung, or even, I'd go as far as say don't count out Lathan Strickland there, Joe. He's been kind of quiet so far this race, but he's been moving forward at the same time. So, if we get into one more incident where these two leaders are side by side for a lap or two, they could definitely draw in that 4th and 5th place driver. But right now, these two are going to give it their all, but at the same time, try to do it respectfully because, like you mentioned multiple times, that they are teammates. So if you get into each other, Joe, and cost both of yourselves the race win,
oh, geez.
I don't think you're – oh, no. This is – oh, no.
51, 38, and 20 are all ahead for the leaders with 4 laps to go. So not only do you have to worry about fuel, now you have to worry about lap traffic, and you have to worry about the other guys around you as well. So they'll get by Noah Brady, who just pulls high and says, go on through. So Willard will do so, but now the two EKH Enterprises cars are ahead, and they might want to hold up the front few a little bit because their teammate Rise Fruitube isn't fifth, only a second back. So try and get some time gained there. But Willard's done a great job carving through these guys to not really lose too much time. With now 3 laps to go, Willard, Chen, and Chung are going to move low and get by the 3-lap cars. Matthew Burnett is a good distance up the road. I don't think we'll catch him in these final 3 laps.
Yeah, luckily I agree with you on that, so I think we should be all right with lap track for the rest of it, Joe. But Laura Chung found an opportunity to use a lap car as almost a pick right now and is into the inside of Jerry Chen, but that car is just too strong on the outside lane in 3 and 4, Joe. He's going to get second place yet again, but is his teammate Gabe Willard too far out in front to even really make a charge at him?
I was going to say, through all that, Gabe Willard said see ya to the rest of the field. He's pulled away. If he has the field to make it and nothing happens to that car, I think he's good to go to maybe win his first race of the 2025 season. But that's a big if with all this stuff that's gone on here today. Willard gets down to the bottom of 3 and 4 well. He comes off the corner under power. The white flag is in the air. One last lap around the Kansas Speedway for Gabe Willard and David Dixon as cars are pitting at the back of the field. So some guys did not have the field to make it, but Willard so far under power. Southern Cross Racing looking for their second victory of the season. Chen won the last intermediate race at the Texas Motor Speedway. Gabe Willard just clinging on to a top 10 spot in points. Up the back straightaway for the final time into turns 3 and 4. Chen won at Texas a few races ago. Here today, he'll be the one to finish second to teammate Gabe Willard off of 4. Gabe Willard with his first win in the DeWalt Cup Series at Kansas.
Look how spread out these guys got.
Yeah, and look at the guys that pitted. We had one damaged car, and then Zach DeLello, who had been running well, had to pit.
Yeah, that's very, very bad for him, as, like you mentioned, Joe, he was up front and looking for a good finish, but did not have the fuel to make it. But someone who did, Joe, are these teammates right here, 27 of Gabe Willard and the 36 Jerry Chen have absolutely shown up and shown out today, Joe.
Yes, they did. Southern Cross Racing as a whole, I think Drew Webb got a top 10 as well in that 45. So Southern Cross Racing, 3 cars inside the top 10 here at the Kansas Speedway after what was a chaotic race where that big crash early on, then lap traffic drama, and we had our points leader blow up. We had the race leader, I think, have a flat tire because Jericho did get back out there and continued running on. So I do believe that the 54 had a tire issue, possibly ran over some debris, cut the tire down. But Trey, this was a chaotic race. We don't normally get these types of races on the channel where we see, people have mechanical issues or stuff like that. But we saw a lot of that here today. This was a chaotic race.
I swear there was a year where we didn't have a single mechanical issue, and then you come up to this race and we have 2 alone. I don't know if that's a good omen or a bad omen, Joe. I don't know if I like it.
Not only 2, but 2 heavy hitter front runners. Jericho led the most laps of the day up to that point. And Nathan Stevenson was the points leader running in 3rd when he blew an engine. So, yeah, there was a lot that went down for some heavy hitters here today. But in the end, it was a heavy hitter and Gabe Willard getting to victory lane. And this is a driver that he's been solid this season. He's been consistent this season. He just hadn't been able to put together a full race and really just had some inconsistencies throughout the season that was really hurting him. But here today, everything went right for him, and his stiffest competition, Chris Jericho, had a tire issue, and that 09 or the 27, excuse me, was able to sweep it up and get to victory lane for David Dixon and Southern Cross Racing.
Yeah, I mean, did absolutely everything he needed to do. We saw a fantastic battle there between teammates of Jerry Chen and Gabe Willard, and they kept it clean, which is what you want to see. Laura Chung was waiting there and just behind them in case anything did happen, but nothing did, and she still walks away with the third place finish after being in the back for I feel like most of this race, and after the pit stops there, and she made everything worth it, and Lathan Strickland as well. It had a quiet day, but very very good.
Well, after all that, let's now go take a look at how they finished for the Bass Pro Shops 400 here at the Kansas Speedway. So here's the top 10 finishers here today from a chaotic race at Kansas. As Trey mentioned, Willard, Chen, Chung, and Strickland are the top 4. Philip Torres got up there to steal a top 5 at the end. One of his better runs of the season moves him up near the top 10 in points. Riley Spurrington with a good day moves himself back up into the chase spot. Ludovic Charette needed this run. 7th place. She had been on a stumble downwards as of late. Drew Webb puts all 3 Southern Cross racing cars inside the top 10 with an 8th. Alex Sanvitali picks up the scraps for Atlanta Motorsports here today in 9th, and Levi Shones for Galway Automotive gets a top 10. Jack Haas's teammate right behind him. So Galway Automotive had decent days. They just couldn't finish it out here today with the speed they needed at the end. Jordan Stout, Eli Bright really dropped. How about Angel Gutierrez at the top 15? Brian Rodriguez, a solid day, but really wasn't seen. Rodriguez was. That's interesting for a driver who's been so strong this season. Martinelli had damage, still got 16th. Chris Keselowski, one of his better runs of the season, in 17th. Hernandez backs up the win with an 18th, so a solid day. Missed all the chaos around him. Wilson and Davis are the final finishers in the top 20. We had 23 cars finish on the lead lap. Zarka DeLello had to pit at the end, so he finishes a lap down in 24th. We saw the issue for Chris Jericho, tire malfunction on that 54, probably a flat tire from debris. He ends up 26th the lap down. And then Matthew Burnett was the slow lap car. He ends up 5 laps down, finishes in 30th. So he got all he could out of this day. And then 31st on down, all out. One from a mechanical issue, that was Nathan Stapleton in 31st. And then the rest were out because of crash damage from Bryce Egan all the way down to Tyler Belladon. And then the last 2, Tegan Fox and Mathis Wells, also out of this race from crash damage. And now we take a look at the driver points 9 races in. Jerry Chen back on top, but it's only by 6 points over Nathan Stapleton. Brian Rodriguez, 10 back. Laura Chung, 11 back. So a chaotic day here today at the Kansas Speedway. Pushes the points right back together heading into the 10th race of the season. Final spot inside the top 10 currently held by Matthew Burnett. He's only up by 5 points, though, over Lathan Strickland. And then Philip Torres is there in 12th with Crown Jr. Shones and Eli Bright all inside the top 15. So Levi Shones getting closer to that top 10. Currently holds that wildcard spot with the victory. And the second wildcard spot obviously going to Lathan Strickland, first car outside the top 10 in points without a race victory. Ludovic Charette back up inside the top 20 with a good day. And want to give a call out to not on this page, but Anthony Nez is now 32nd in points. He moves up 2 more spots, and he's just that much closer to 25th in points. Remember, 25th is the cutoff to try and use that win as a wildcard spot. Right now, Hernandez with 154 points. Matt Tuck is in 25th with 177, so he's 33, or excuse me, he's 23 away from that, so it's possible to get up there. Now, team points. After 9 races, Otter Island Motorsports continues to hold it, but they had a pretty good day. 2 cars inside the top 5, but Stapleton with his issues. And Vision Motorsports could have been able to close in, but they had a lot of issues here today. This allowed Galway Automotive, they had some solid days, and Southern Cross Racing had a really good day. Southern Cross moves up to a tie for 3rd, 96 back of Otter Island. They've left the rest of the teams in the dust. Tucson Racing holds 5th by a point over EKH Enterprises. Then you have Meme Motorsports and Fos Autosport kind of in that battle. They've left 9th on back behind, which is a battle between Ace Motorsports, Red Lightning Racing, Crispy Fire Racing Ventures in 11th, all the way down to Atlanta Motorsports now 12th. Fitzwater Australia is 13th, and OSC down in 14th. So Trey, final thoughts from a chaotic race at Kansas where we saw a big crash early on. We saw some unpredictability with mechanical issues, but in the end, Southern Cross Racing, the best team today, got a car in victory lane.
Yeah, I mean this was this was crazy, Joe. I don't know what to even think about it. We saw, like you mentioned, big wreck, lap car issues, mechanical issues, pit road issues. What issues didn't we see?
Saw a lot of issues and a lot of good racing too. We saw some great battles for the lead, some great battling mid-pack, and a very entertaining Kansas race for sure. And we'll see how this race kind of plays out for the rest of the season in terms of points and stuff like that. Maybe drivers and teams will look back on this race and say, what if this didn't happen or this didn't happen at the Kansas Speedway? Well, next week on JRTV, it's the start of our New England swing. We have 3 races up in New England, and this is the first of them. Going racing at Boston, a fictional racetrack. It's kind of like Rockingham. It'll be a fun one to see. That'll be the Procore 400. And then 2 weeks' time, also on Monday, we'll be racing from New Hampshire, that 1 mile racetrack up in New England. So it'll be a fun time the next 3 weeks on JRTV Racing in New England, and it all starts next time out Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern from Boston. But today it's all about Gabe Willard and Southern Cross Racing with David Dixon, the team owner. 3 cars in the top 10, and Willard in victory lane. Congratulations to the team and the 27 on a great day. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long, but tune in next week to JRTV Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern for the race from Boston.